Almost July 4th. I don't even know what to say. I almost didn't come on because I felt that it was so trite to be on tonight, the 4th of July, the celebration of 250 years of this extraordinary country. But it's really as much God's providence. Tonight, I went to see the young George Washington movie, and I highly recommend it to everyone. It is George Washington's younger years, starting when he was probably about 10-ish, when his dad suddenly passed away from a influenza type of situation. Living in Virginia, and as I said, a young man. So because of the fact that his father passed away and that his mother didn't, they owned a lot of land, and that is the Monticello, no, that's not his, what is it called? I can see it, I've been there. But regardless, land there, 250 acres, Mount Vernon. And, but they weren't wealthy, so he was unable to go to college, school really, because they were perceived lesser than, let's just say that. And his stepbrother, who was now in the upper crust of the British, because again, it was a British whole deal there, and British control over these colonies. His stepbrother, or his half-brother, was a good guy, and he understood that George had a desire to grow and learn and be educated, and he was just so deflated that he was unable to go to school. So his brother shared with him the classics, ancient classics to more modern writers from England, and so he just poured over that and was self-educated, truly self-educated. With that said, he also had a tremendous desire to make a difference. Hello. And not just be a farmer or just live just a life there, because he saw in so many ways, because he lived it, the contradiction of the control of England and keeping people really not only able to expand, the Propel expansion, expand in their lives, but the caste system, meaning that there were just levels. Well, like he couldn't go to school only because his father died and his mother wasn't perceived as a wealthy person. So he saw it as something that he was going to make a difference, meaning that he didn't personally become bitter or angry. It just motivated him to grow. It really was the driving force to grow. So the essence of why I'm sharing that too is because the focus tonight with the 4th of July, 250th year of this truly extraordinary, it's beyond beginning of a country. It was God's providence and mercy. And so the word today and tonight is mercy. Now, mercy, and I looked up the definition of mercy, is compassionate forbearance, so being strong. Mercy is compassionate forbearance shown to someone within, so meaning that self-control, that forbearance. Mercy is a compassionate forbearance shown to someone within one's power to punish or harm. So it meaning that instead of being angry, God had, I'm talking about mankind, let's just talk about that in general, that the mercy of God, grace is kind of a goodness. It's a favor and giving compassion. That is grace. Mercy is forgiving for when you should deserve to be, reprimanded or penalized or, something, negative onto you for the activities that you have chosen to do willfully, so to speak. And so mercy is that amazing compassion of God for us, that forbearance where we deserve to be taken to the woodshed, And he, watching this tonight, and I've been doing a lot of studying the last 30 days about history, the history of the beginnings of this country, not just the Revolutionary War, but what led to it. And that's what this movie is about, because he was, George Washington was a young man, very young man, in 1755 when it was the French and Indian War. But what led up to that? And so that is just fascinating. And what he learned during this season, and he was involved in quote unquote fighting in the French and Indian War. But again, it's a fascinating study about his inner desire, that clarity. And then that courage and confidence and commitment and compassion. Truly, the 5 C's were operating within George Washington. So when he was 10, when his dad passed away, the challenges his mother, it didn't go heavily into that, but how it affected he as a young person, and how his stepbrother, his half-brother, stepped in and took him under his wing as a mentor. Not only as his brother, but also from just a growth and a academia, and just giving him the tools to be in society, so to speak, even though he was technically really locked out of it. But George, had that drive to push through with a very, very lovely spirit. He, as I said, he was not this, woe is me guy. He was just, had a very light spirit. But what happened during that season of the French and Indian War is that he lost some very good friends. And he lost also a mentor, general, that had become really a kind of a pro person, knowing exactly what George was doing, i.e. he shouldn't have been an officer type of thing, And so this guy gave him that grace. But George, had a shift after he lost some of his friends, and they lost this one battle, and he was really reprimanded by the, I don't know if he was the governor, I don't think he was, but he was someone that had prominence in the government, so to speak, of Virginia. And he just said to that guy, I resign. So he went home, and his mother said to him, and I've said this to you before, his mother said, if you fail at something or make a mistake in something and don't learn from it, then you will repeat it. But if you have that, experience and learn from it, that is what will propel you forward. So he went back and asked for mercy and grace from the general, and who was a very good man. And that general said, get back in there," type of thing. "Go for it. Don't," like his mother said, "do not stop." And so he did, and he went back, and his mother also said, and she was equating it to her own grit that she had to muster after her husband died, having this 250 acres, and she didn't know how to farm or tend to the property and so forth. But she said, "I basically had to and did it. So you go back out there and do it." So when he went back, and she also said it was from divine providence. And he asked her why, and she said, "There's no answer. It's just God has a hand on you." And meaning that there's a divine providence that you were where you were and why you were there. So he went back with a different focus, trusting in the Lord. It was fascinating to see, but but also, guys, so powerful to see the hand of God in the beginning of this country, because it was the French and Indian War, and he got to know some of the quote unquote Indians of the land, and they initially were helping him, working with him, whatever you want to say. But after he lost that first battle and surrendered, and then gave in and gave up, the Indians went to work with the French. So when they were in the second battle, when he went back out there, they they basically won it, and so the Indians and the French left. I mean, they basically won that whole situation. But anyway, George there, man, he was just fearless, and I mean, just with his musket and out there, and had a pistol and a musket, and riding the general's horse. The general said, "Take him," as he was dying. He got shot, and he was riding the horse on the side, so the horse was kind of buffering him. Not so much the horse wasn't hit, but the point is he, was maneuvering around. And the head Indian, who he had gotten to know earlier, 5-6 years prior, he came to see him, and he was like, "Okay, what's going on?" And he said, "No, I have some people that want to see you." And so, and those other Indians didn't speak English. This one guy did. He had learned English over the years, but anyhow, he was the interpreter, and the other Indian shared that you have, and he said this, and I've heard this before, I've read this before. He said, "There's something very supernatural about you. The hand of God is on you, and because we shot at you, and nothing stopped you." And he had bullet holes in his hat and his jacket where it should have killed him, and it did not. So George Washington truly was guided for us, for the establishment of this country. This country has always had the hand of God on it, guiding it, and it is incumbent upon us to trust him. And that's why I said last night, it's so joyful to me and millions of other people to see these people come together from all over the world with this World Cup, and traveling all throughout the United States, and just embracing, because every region and area of the U.S. is different. Texas is different than New York, but they're equally, the people, I'm just talking about the people now, are equally as wonderful and kind. We are we the people. And we are I remember as a kid probably a teenager, you know, that song, I forget the name of it, but that, you know, that was the Globe, and there was all sorts of Michael Jackson and all sorts of people were singing it. I want to say "Let There Be Peace on Earth," but that wasn't the name of it. But its bottom line is we are together. And as we now, I'm sure it's after midnight now, so it's the 4th of July. 1776 is when they signed the Declaration of Independence. It wasn't finished, and you know the Bill of Rights and so forth had to be put together in the states, but it wasn't easy peasy. It was not. It was as life is. It's not just about the founding of this country and today, but if you go back in the Bible and Old Testament and the beginning with God establishing man, it's the nature of man. So we need to know that God is in the midst of this with us and will never leave us or forsake us. And Psalm 103:8 describes God as a gracious God, slow to anger and abounding in love. And that is mercy. I was born in Mercy Hospital. I went to high school at Our Lady of Mercy. Mercy is a thread in my life, as all of ours. God is there for us. And when we say, I give it to you, Lord, he forgets it. If you truly know that in your heart. So let's all come together and celebrate this beautiful, beautiful birthday, and celebrate God, and celebrate life, and celebrate each other. I love you. And let me quickly look at who's here. And we are the world. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. And a few other people. I mean, one person said something ridiculous, and I'm not even going to repeat it, about, it's about Hillary Clinton, and said, hey, Hillary Clinton. Well, I sure as heck don't think Hillary Clinton would be talking about the founding of this country and God in the midst of it. I doubt that, but I don't want to talk about people. I do not. But with that said, I mean, she's older than I, but not much, but she is. And, but that's all I'm going to say. But with that, you know, as I said, this is come off pretty much every night to my YouTube channel. And, you know, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for, you know, leaving a message, and do subscribe because it helps other people to find me and it, because my heart is to help you identify your dreams, goals, and desires and attain them. And that is what the Propel program is about. That's a tool. You can purchase that. It's a video and workbook, and interacting with me. I have started, scaled, and sustained 4 7-figure and built them, multi-7-figure businesses, and I've sold them. And I have been working in regenerative stem cell for the last 8 years, and 4.5 years ago, I was introduced to LifeWave, which is a non-transdermal stem cell activation patch, the most extraordinary technology, a paradigm shift in cellular health. And you have stem cells in your body, you do. We all do. At 30, they're 50% dormant. At 60, they're 90% dormant. That means that the body fails with inflammation, breaks down, degenerates, and that is how dis-ease sets in. So it's imperative for us to activate our stem cells, which are pluripotent, which means they're non-differentiated. They become whatever you need. So they become a heart cell, a brain cell, meaning for not just dementia, but my daughter had a brain injury and it dramatically helped her. But, you know, brain fog and clarity energy and so forth. It reverses the age of the heart. It develops collagen, but also very importantly, stimulates GHKCU copper peptides, which are in the body. You don't need peptide injections. So know that the body, it wants to, God created it to absolutely create our body, but to be able to heal itself. But when the stem cells become dormant, it can't. It just can't. So but they're not dead, so they can be reactivated. And this is by photobiomodulation, your own light energy, activating your energy in your body. So you can go to propel.megandimartino.com/info, and information about LifeWave is there. My websites are there. My book is there, Hope and Possibilities, my TED Talk, but also free of charge is to join there is no cost to joining the Propel community. So go to propel.megandimartino.com/info. It's my link tree. And there you can just click that button and join the Propel community. You receive a message of inspiration, encouragement daily, bi-monthly newsletters of business and tools, my podcast interviews of other thought leaders are there, starting in 20. But go there and join the Propel community. So, happy 4th of July. And wherever you are. It was so fun to see countries wishing the U.S. a happy birthday, 250 years. And, France and other companies around the world. Been a heavy duty 250 years, and we're not done yet, but we must operate from love and gratitude and understanding that God is in the middle of this. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to a really cool little town in the Hill Country, and fireworks and so forth. So I think I'm going to do my live from there and outside in the middle of that. And so do join me tomorrow night for the Propel expansion. Remember, it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. See you tomorrow. Happy birthday.